What's good, people? I'm back, and today I'll be discussing my picks for UFC Fight Night, Fiziev versus Torres. Yeah, I mean, what else do you need from an intro? To be fair, the intro I'm gonna drag it because I'm going to rant for 2 minutes. It's nothing related to MMA. I just drank Coke Zero. What the fuck is that shit, dude? The fucking grocery store ran out of Coke Zero, Diet Coke, sorry, has ran out of Diet Coke, and it's not been back since. What the fuck is wrong with Coke Zero? It's not bad by anything, but like, once you drink Diet Coke, you can never go back to Coke Zero, right? If I would have just drank Coke Zero, and I would have never drank Diet Coke, I would not have a problem. And now, I need some diet sodas and shit, and the only thing they have is fucking Coke Zero. What the fuck am I supposed to do with the fucking Coke Zero, dude? I drank it anyways because I'm a degenerate. And also, another thing I need to rant about. This video is going to be a bit late. It's gonna release on the day I want it to, but a bit later. And the editing is gonna take a bit more time. And this video, I'm gonna wrap it up really quickly. I'm not gonna drag this video on longer than 30 minutes. Nuh-uh. When I say video, I mean like the whole recording. When I record the video, after that I edit it, some parts get edited out, the video shrinks by like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm talking recording wise, I'm not taking it longer than 35 minutes, bro. Because right now my physics teacher, this motherfucker gets on my nerves so much, dude. So if you guys don't know, I don't like studying. I fucking hate that shit. This guy pretty much gives us like all of the teachers give us homework and shit, and they just tell us to complete questions from home. We get our like books and shit. If you guys don't know, I'm in high school, so we have like our books and shit that they give us, and they're like, okay, yeah, complete questions there to there and whatever. So this motherfucker, pretty much what they tell you is complete like some amount of questions every day, so that you don't have to end up completing a lot of questions every day to show it. And it's not like an homework thing, it's more so of an assignment thing. And that motherfucker is going to ask me today, for my fucking notebook. You know how many questions I had left? About 250. 4 days ago that was. Today, it's 12:30 a.m. and this guy is going. I'm gonna leave at about 8 a.m. I have like about 6-7 hours after recording. I fucking kid you not. I still have about fucking 90 to 80 questions ish left, and I have to make YouTube content, dude. So I'm gonna edit this shit like after I come back from school and shit. So it's gonna be posted a bit later, and I have not slept in 3 days. I've taken little naps here and there, but I have not slept in 3 days. I've been making YouTube content. I fucking spent so much time doing this shit. The video I made, only for it to get like 15 views. It doesn't even get 15 views anymore. It gets like 4. The only motherfucker watching my shit is my fucking friend from that I know personally, dude. Yeah, whatever. I've kind of ranted about it enough. Let's let's get to my picks for UFC Fight Night, Fiziev versus Torres. Starting off the first fight, we have Tahir Abdullayev versus who's this guy? Jefferson Nascimento. Thomas Jefferson? What the fuck? Okay, it's not Thomas Jefferson. Wrong Jefferson, guys. Wrong Jefferson. My bad. Nascimento, I don't know. I'm assuming it's Nascimento, right? So the fight is so it seems to be that the fight is taking place at welterweight. Tahir Abdullayev, I don't know anything about him. Jefferson Nascimento, I don't know anything about it. Jefferson Nascimento is undefeated, so I'm gonna pick him. Also, Tahir Abdullayev, he just seems like they just brought a guy in that they just need to put on the Baku card. They just need to put him on the Azerbaijan card because he's from Azerbaijan and shit. So that's the only reason he's even here. I'm gonna pick Jefferson Nascimento by round 2 TKO, KO/TKO. as because I have not done research for this. Like I said, I've been busy for this last week, and I've been like very busy. Like I was planning to be more active on my Instagram. I wasn't even able to do that. I was more active on my YouTube, but fuck, once again ranting about my YouTube and studies not being balanced. Fuck that physics guy, by the way. Actually, it's not entirely his fault because I should have started solving questions before. But dude, I don't have that much time, my guy. So now I've not slept in 3 days. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. My dark circles, if you guys, I'm dark as shit. My dark circles are still showing. Fuck, let's get back to the fight. Jefferson Nascimento, he's undefeated. As for this Tahir Abdullayev guy, he seems big and strong and shit. And usually when those kind of guys, he might be on the juice, might be. If he's not, then well and good. But I think yeah, dude. I'm not gonna pick Tahir Abdullayev, dude. As for Begzat Imacan versus John Matsumoto, dude, I'm taking risks this card, dude. I'm done playing it safe. You know, I've played it safe many times. I'm picking underdogs this card, dude. I'm picking Begzat Imacan, dude. I know Begzat Almakhan has like a 1-2 UFC record, but like look at the guys they're giving this guy, dude. His debut in the UFC, they give him Umar Nurmagomedov. Yeah, he got unanimous decision, but he dropped Umar in that fight. And this is why it's kind of like, I know Umar is kind of dog shit and Umar would get pieced up by Piotr Yan. How are you getting dropped by Begzat Almakhan? Then he fights Brad Katona. He knocks him out round 1. Like very early, in like around, just like after 1 minute. And then he gets Alexander Topuria. And I thought he did pretty well against Topuria. You know, I thought he was going to look much worse. He was stumbling a little bit. He was mostly on the back foot. But if you look at the stats, it wasn't that bad. And when I was watching the fight, I'm like, Al McCann might have actually taken a round off of him. You know, I probably, at the time I was watching it, I probably scored it 29-28. As for Jean Matsumoto, he was a prospect at the time. He used to be undefeated before he fought fucking Rob Font. This guy fought Brad Katona. He unanimous decisioned him. He got a unanimous decision on fucking Contender Series. He beat Dan Argueta by guillotine. He lost to Rob Font by split decision. He beat Miles Jones by split decision. He lost to Farid Basharat by split decision. And I will be picking Begzat Almakhan to beat Jean Matsumoto by split decision. As for how this fight goes, I just don't think he'll be able to take down Begzat Almakhan, dude. I think people are kind of underrating Begzat Almakhan's striking. And anybody who goes to a split decision with Miles fucking Jones, yeah, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Even Farid Basharat's not that good. And the reason I was concerned about, Begzat Almakhan was, I'm like, okay, he might get taken down and shit. This guy lost to Farid Basharat. I understand Farid Basharat's long and lanky, so maybe getting past the range would be tough. But dude, Begzat Almakhan, Farid Basharat should not be that hard to take down. And Begzat Almakhan, I think they're kind of lying on his height. He's a bit shorter than they actually state in his stats. Because Alexander Topuria is not that tall and Almakhan did not look like that much taller than him. So I think Jean Matsumoto's gonna have like problems taking him down. And I think it's just gonna be Begzat Almakhan, just outpointing him on the feet, like landing some nice boxing combinations and shit. As for the next fight, we have Daniil Donchenko versus Theodore Begarin. Now, if this fight, Theodore Begarin is taking this fight on short notice because Andreas Gustafsson retired because of heart problems, which fair enough, fair enough to the guy. Daniil Donchenko, if you don't know, he had like one of the best fights I remember. He had a very fun fight against Rodrigo Cezinando, and he got like a crazy knockout in that. He got like a pretty nice knockout in that one. He just like pretty much beat Alex Morono. I was hoping he would finish Alex Morono because, dude, if you're not finishing Alex Morono, I don't see that much potential in you, dog. But with that being said, he's fighting Theodore Begarin. Bergeron. No, his name is not Bergeron. His name is Theodore Bergeron. Theodore Burger? What the fuck? First of all, your name is Theodore, dude. I cannot pick it. This guy's record is 8-3. He is semi decent because he does have a couple fights in like Cage Warriors and shit. But dude, you're losing to 12-8 guys. You're beating 3-1 guys. I'm not gonna pick Theodore Bellerin. I'm gonna pick Daniil Danchenko by unanimous decision. The reason I picked Danchenko by decision because I just wasn't that impressed by his performance against Moreno, dude. I'm slowly turning into GSP. I'm slowly becoming Canadian. Oh my god, that's so bad. You know why I was gonna say I'm slowly gonna get my fucking Canadian passport. You know why that's so bad? Because I'm Indian. Oh my god. Let's get to the next fight. We have Khan Awful E, as I like to call him, versus Javier Reyes. I'm gonna pick Javier Reyes. I was gonna pick Khan Awfully initially. I was like, yeah, Javier Reyes. He didn't look that good in his fight. He didn't look that good in his fight with whoever he was fighting. Yeah, I remember him like getting pieced up early on and then like just immediately knocking his opponent down like after 2 minutes of getting pieced up. But with that being said, Khan Awfully is fucking horrible. Khan Awfully got dropped like a million times by Yicha. I know there's only one knockdown, but he fell to his knees and his ass like 3 other times in that fight, dude. Khan Awfully robbed Yicha. And it wasn't even like a split decision, it was a majority decision, which is crazy, dude. Pretty much it was in Australia, and Khan Awfully, even though he represents Turkey for some reason, we know why he represents Turkey, dude. He getting that fucking oil money, dude. Yeah, he lost to fucking Muhammad Naimov, which is fair. Naimov's good. He got knocked out by Myron Santos. Fair. Santos is good. Other than that, he has a pretty decent record outside of the UFC, not too shabby. But his other win is Ricardo Ramos, who he submitted. Now, Khan Awfully could just, try to get takedowns against Javier Reyes and, take him down, hold him there. But I think he's gonna have a lot of problem because Javier Reyes, he is bigger than him, and he does have a longer reach than him. Khan Awfully he's like a short, stubby guy, dude. He's 5'7" with a 66-inch reach. That's bad. That's fucking Javier Reyes does not have a 73-inch reach. Fuck no, he doesn't. Yeah, Javier Reyes has a lot of power, and I'm picking Javier Reyes by round 1 KO. I just don't think Khan Awfully's striking is all that. His chin, Yija has good power, but Yija is not, like all that. So I think Javier Reyes will be able to knock him out, or at least like win. I think he'll pretty much drop Khan Awfully at least once in this fight. Let's move on to the next fight. I don't really have much to say about that fight. You have Nursultan Ruziboyev versus Andre Puliev. Now, this was another fight where I was considering picking the underdog in Andre Puliev. But, dude, it's gonna be hard for me to pick Andre Puliev, dude. How the fuck do I pick Andre Puliev? Andre Puliev, if you don't know, he got fed to killers a lot. They first gave him Christian Leroy Drunken, who he dragged to a decision, which is honestly pretty decent. Then he gets Nick Klein and he knocks him out. He did win on Contender Series and he does have a pretty good record outside of the UFC. Then they gave him Ateba Gautier. He was the first man to drag Ateba Gautier to a decision, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, he did get dropped like a million times in that fight. And he did not look good. His chin was definitely something that was there. Nursultan Ruziboyev, this guy got schooled by fucking Joaquin Buckley. To be honest, we're kind of forgetting Joaquin Buckley is actually decent. I think Joaquin Buckley is like ranked material. And his only loss in the UFC is to Joaquin Buckley. And this guy knocked out Bruno Ferreira, but that was in 2023. And also Bruno Ferreira is so fucking inconsistent, dude. Bruno Ferreira might be one of the most inconsistent fighters ever. He beat Cedricus Dumas, whatever. He knocked out McConico and Dumas, whatever. McConico knockout is actually aging pretty well. As for, he also beat Dustin Stoltzfus. I just think Nursultan Ruziboyev is gonna do slightly better than Puliev. I know Puliev is long, lanky, and he has good kicks and shit, and he has a very nice kickboxing style. But I think he's gonna get like pretty much I don't know Nursultan Ruziboyev style. I have never seen him fight. I just think whatever Nursultan Ruziboyev does, unless it's like kickboxing at range, he'll be better than Andre Puliev, more than likely. And I'm picking Nursultan Ruziboyev by. I don't want to pick him by submission, dude. But I really don't want to pick him by KO/TKO either. I'm picking Nursultan Ruziboyev by decision. Next fight on the card we have Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby. I have no idea how the odds are this close in this fight. And you know what the odds are? -400 and +330. Those are not close odds, dude. But why do I say they're close? Because the guys fighting are Abdul Rahman Yakiev is fighting Julius Walker. Yakiev, if you don't know, I don't think he has never been past the first round. He's got all first round finishes, mostly, submissions. He gets a first round knockout in 30 seconds on the Contender Series. He gets a first round submission in 30 seconds in his UFC debut against Rafael Cerquera, where he dropped him and they just submitted him. Same with Brandon Ribeiro. To be honest, Rafael Cerquera and Brandon Ribeiro are absolute cans. These guys are not UFC level, but he did knock a guy out in Contender Series, which is good. As for Julius Walker, what the fuck does this guy even do? He has a 1-1. He has a 1-2 UFC record, which is whatever. This guy also beat Rafael Cerquera, but he unanimous decisioned him. This guy got knocked out by Dustin Jacoby. You know what? Dustin Jacoby is kind of not that bad. He got knocked out by Alonzo Manifield, which, if you look at his record, you might give him a shot, but Abdul Rahman Yakiev has just looked so good, dude. But there is one thing. Julius Walker might be the type of guy to kind of drag him to round 3 and round 2 and round 3. So, but I'm still gonna pick Abdul Rahman Yakiev by round 1, KO, TKO. I don't need to break this fight down any longer. Anyone with semi-ball knowledge of the UFC can tell you that everything you need to know about this matchup. This is all you need to know about this matchup. Yakiev is a bulldozer, and Julius Walker, he's just somehow he's just a random in the UFC. Next fight we have Farman Hasanov versus Eric Nolan. This is the second fight on this card and the only other fight except for Almakan versus Matsumoto in which I'll be picking the underdog. I'm picking Eric Nolan. Farman Hasanov, he has a couple amateur fights. He has 2 amateur fights. He's 5-0. Which is, good. Undefeated records are always good. But if he was 7-0 or 8-0, then that would, I'll be like, oh shit, this guy, that would get my attention. But you're 5-0, dude. If you're 5-0, what are you doing in the UFC? You at least need to, if you're undefeated and you want to debut in the UFC, to be fair though, he does have 3 fights in LFA. And he did beat a 6-0 guy in his last fight. And the competition he's fighting isn't necessarily that bad. Okay, it is that bad. Except for the guy he fought, that was 6-0. He has not fought anybody else that is semi-decent. And that guy himself has not fought anyone that is good. As for Eric Nolan, he's the guy that took on Baisang versus Archive on a week's notice and shit. They put that fight together on a week's notice. Yeah, I know Suzurkaev submitted him in round 2, but Suzurkaev was getting pieced up in round 1. And if you guys don't remember, Suzurkaev slept Eric McConico. I think Eric McConico is actually pretty decent. And Suzurkaev slept McConico out cold. Suzurkaev was having problems against DeJordan Santos, but that's fucking... Everybody has some problems against DeJordan Santos. And he was having problems, but it wasn't like he was necessarily losing on the feet. I was scoring the fight for him on the feet as well. It was just, he has such a weird body language that it just doesn't look good. But if you look at other fights on Eric Nolan's record, he has a couple losses. He lost a split decision to Alonzo Turner. His first loss was to Ty Miller. If you know anything about Ty Miller is also in the UFC. Ty Miller just knocked out Adam Puckett. Ty Miller is one of the better prospects in this division. And he went to a split decision with him in his second fight. and he has fought in CFFC till now before he got to UFC, which is pretty good. He has a split decision with some guy named Alonso Turner, who was 3-0 at the time and is now 7-2. And this guy is built like a jacked hamster for some reason. Then he got submitted by Blaine Richard once, and then he has the other loss to Susurkaev. He looked pretty good against Susurkaev. He has knockouts on his record. You know, you look at the guys he's beating at CFFC, they aren't necessarily that bad themselves. They aren't that good, but you know, they're semi-decent. As for Farman Hasnov, I don't think he has a semi-rateable win, dude. The first round that Eric Nolan had against Susurkaev is better than any win this guy has had in all of his career. Eric Nolan is being kind of slept on, bro. He has the height advantage. I know it says they have the same reach, uh, but when you have the height advantage and you guys have the same reach pretty much, the guy taller will have kind of the advantage with the reach and stuff. So I think Farman Hasnov, he's a striker. Unless he tries to take down Eric Nolan, I don't think he's gonna win this fight, dude. I think I'm gonna pick Eric Nolan by round 3 TKO. Hmm. Yeah, I drank some water. Now this is where the card starts to get interesting. The main card of this fight night is actually very good. It's like hardcore's wet dream, to be honest. If you don't just watch like ranked fighters, if you know like somewhat decent amount of ball knowledge, you'll know the next 5 fights are peak. They're very good, and I'm really hyped for this card. Next fight we have Bruno Ferreira versus Ikram Aliskerov. Ikram Aliskerov, he used to be a very good prospect before he got knocked the fuck out by Robert Whittaker. Bruno Ferreira, he used to be a very good prospect before he got knocked the fuck out by Gregory Rodriguez. Bruno Ferreira, he's coming off that loss to Gregory Rodriguez. Ikram Aliskerov, he's coming off that loss to Jung Young Park. Now, it's kind of concerning as to, you know, also Ikram Aliskerov's only other loss, except for Robert Whittaker, who he took on like short notice, if I'm not wrong, is Khamzat Chimaev. Bruno Ferreira, this guy is so fucking inconsistent, dude. First of all, you get knocked out by Gregory Rodriguez, who you already beat. But it was kind of, I saw it coming, nearly everyone saw it coming. We knew Gregory Rodriguez was gonna knock him out. You get submitted by Abus Magomedov. Fair. You know, it's whatever. The problem is you got submitted in round 3. If you know anything about Abus Magomedov, Abus Magomedov has the gas tank of a fucking cheetah. Which cheetahs, once they start running, they can only run for like 2-3 minutes. Abus Magomedov gasses out pretty horribly. If you're getting submitted by him in round 3, brother, something's wrong. And then he got knocked out by Nursultan Ruziboyev. How does one knock out Gregory Rodriguez and then get knocked out by Ruziboyev in their next fight? That's what I mean. He's so inconsistent. He has like he has an armbar over Arman Petrosyan. He has an armbar over Jackson McVeigh. I don't rate any of those guys that highly. He knocked out Dustin Stolfus and Phil Hawes. I don't rate any of those guys that highly. He has a unanimous decision win over Marvin Vettori, in which he got hit quite a bit. Yeah, he did not look good against Vettori by any means. As for Ikram Aliskerov, he's actually pretty decent. He just got a win over Jung Park, which it was a little bit boring. But okay. It was just like a little bit boring at times. I don't think it was like boring or anything. He knocked out Andre Muniz. Andre Muniz is absolutely dog shit. He knocked out some other bums as well. He also knocked out Phil Hawes. He knocked out Mario Souza on the Contender Series, who I guess is semi-decent, you could say. I think Ikram Aliskerov's gonna win this fight. Because for one, Ikram Aliskerov's striking isn't necessarily that bad. And to out-grapple Jung Young Park is kind of crazy. I thought Ikram Aliskerov was gonna try to knock out Jung Young Park, keep it on the feet and try to knock out Jung Young Park. But his grappling's really improved. So Bruno Ferreira, if you guys don't, this fight is kind of like interesting because Bruno Ferreira and Ikram Aliskerov, both of these guys can kind of knock each other out. and both of these guys can kind of grapple fuck each other. But I think in the grappling, I would give it to Ikram Aliskerov. I would say on the feet, I'm leaning slightly towards Bruno Ferreira, but because Bruno Ferreira is 5'10" at middleweight and he shows short and stocky, I think he's gonna have a hard time dealing with Ikram Aliskerov. And this guy, I just don't rate him that highly, and he just got colded by Gregory Rodriguez. And Ikram Aliskerov on the feet is not that far behind. I, this is how I would put it. The skill gap in their striking is not as big as the skill gap in their grappling. Bruno Ferreira, I know he has some submissions. I know he has some arm bars and shit. But he's a jiu-jitsu guy. And Ikram Aliskerov's jiu-jitsu is also really good. Listen, to out-grapple Jung Young Park, if you out-grapple Jung Young Park, I say you can out-grapple Bruno Ferreira. And that's why I'll be picking Ikram Aliskerov by unanimous decision. I think on the feet, at some point Bruno Ferreira will rock him, and it's probably gonna be like a 29-28 decision. Ikram Aliskerov just uses his jab, maintains range and just try and takes him down and shit. And at some point in one of the rounds he won't be able to take him down really, take him down and hold him down for long enough and land anything of substance. And Bruno Ferreira will probably land something decent on the feet. So that's why Bruno Ferreira will probably win that round. If I had to say, it will probably be a 29-28 decision. Next fight on the card. This makes absolutely no fucking sense. Why is Charles Johnson fighting Aswal Mabayev? I know Aswal Mabayev he's not even lost. Aswal Mabayev is coming off of 2 wins. Aswal Mabayev just beat the guy who beat Charles Johnson 1 fight ago. You mind explaining that to me, please? What the fuck is wrong with UFC matchmaking? I know he got knocked out by Manel Kape, but Manel Kape is a fucking beast. As much as I hate Manel Kape, I will admit Manel Kape's striking is pretty good. Other than that, he hasn't even lost in UFC or in recent memory, to be honest. His only recent loss is to Manel Kape. He has 2 losses that are way far back in his career in 2017. One of them is to fucking Tagir Ulanbekov, dude. Okay, he might actually be dog shit. No. In the UFC, he beat Nicolau, CJ Vergara, Ode Osborne, Jose Johnson, random ass wins. But then he got a nice unanimous decision over Jose Ochoa. He just submitted Alex Perez. And he wasn't doing very well against Perez. But I think he'll just be able to get on the inside against Charles Johnson and take him down. I don't think Charles Johnson's takedown defense is all that, especially against a guy like Aswal Mabayev. To be fair though, this fight is actually much closer than it seems, because rankings wise and the quality of their wins wise, it doesn't seem that good. So Charles Johnson might actually be able to use his reach and power to kind of shut out Aswal Mabayev and just not prevent him from getting in on takedowns. With that being said, this guy went to, if I'm not wrong, a split decision with Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva got colded by Edgar Chairez. Aswal Mabayev is not an up-and-coming prospect, so he's gonna beat Charles Johnson. I'm picking Aswal Mabayev by decision. Next fight on the card, we have Nassim Sadikov versus Matias Camilo. Now, this is a fight which is not even fucking close. This is one of the fights which I'm it seems kind of close, and the odds are kind of showing that the fight is a bit close. It's not gonna be close. I'm picking Sadikov by round 1 KO. Sadikov has one recent loss to Forrest Ziam. He went to a draw with Vyacheslav Borchev, which is horrible. He lost his first pro fight, which is fair. Fine, whatever. He went to war with Nicholas Mora and then knocked him out. He also knocked out Ismail Bonfim, submitted Terence McKinney, and doctor stoppaged Evan Elder. All of these are pretty good wins, dude. But then to go to a majority draw with Vyacheslav Borchev, yeah, I don't know, dude. He got knocked out pretty horribly by Forrest Ziam. Matias Camilo, on the other hand, this guy is fucking awful. He also just picked up a UD over Vyacheslav Borchev, but this guy got submitted by Gabe Green. And he did not look good against Vyacheslav Borchev by any means, dude. He was just outpointing Vyacheslav Borchev on the feet. That's pretty much all that happened in that fight. Hold on. I don't really remember what really happened in that fight. Give me a minute, dude. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. He was getting in on takedowns. He was actually losing on the feet to Borshchev. He was getting in on takedowns. He was holding him there pretty much. I don't know what fucking Mateus Camelo did in that fight, dude. It was like boring, and it was like who gives a shit. Mateus Camelo did not look that good, and it's fucking Vyacheslav Borshchev. I think Nazim Sadikov is gonna knock out Mateus Camelo, especially with the kind of style Camelo has in round one. Next fight, we have the co-main event. We have Michael Bisping versus Anderson Silva from Timu. Okay, I wouldn't say Anderson Silva. Uh, I'm comparing Shara to Michael Bisping because he lost his eye and shit. But we have, the pirate, the fucking Dagestani pirate versus Israel's bravest soldier. I'm gonna pick Shara Magomedov. Brishel Pereira, this guy got knocked out by Kyle Dawkins, dude. Kyle Dawkins, I still believe Kyle Dawkins is semi-decent. I don't think he's like completely just bad because he got knocked out by Bot Nickel. But he's not that good either. I don't think he has ranked potential. Shano Magomedov's only loss is to MVP. Do you know how hard it is to beat MVP in a striking matchup? It's fucking impossible. It's near impossible. You can't beat him in a striking fight. Ian Gary was steps behind in the striking compared to MVP. The speed advantage and just how good MVP is on the feet, he is the best striker in MMA right now. I'll confidently say, yeah, is he? But you kind of have to say, I'm talking striking only. If I were to say like an all-around striker, it would probably be like somebody like Piotr Jan or something. But if you're talking a guy that just strikes, if you were to put all UFC fighters with their skill sets against each other in a striking only kind of environment, MVP beats all of them. The skill set of MVP beats all of them. Shara Magomedov's only losses to MVP. He did go to war with Marc-Andre Barriault, which is not good. But other than that, he was knocking everybody out left and right before that. Michel Pereira just went to like a split decision with Zachary Reese, who is not that good himself. I thought he lost the fight, but it was close, so I don't really mind. He got unanimous decision by Abus Magomedov, got TKO'd by ground and pound by Anthony Hernandez. He has wins over Oleg Jacek, Ior Potiera, Andre Petrovsky. Wait, hold on. Oleg Jacek's on this card as well. I skipped over him if I'm not wrong. Oh, fuck. I skipped over Abus Magomedov and Mikhail Oleg Jacek. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I'm dumb as fuck, dude. Fuck. The no sleep for 3 days is kind of catching up to me. Let's just complete the breakdown of the co-main event, then we'll get back to Abus Magomedov and Oleg Jacek. What the fuck am I doing, bro? Yeah, Michel Pereira. Fuck this, dude. I'm picking Shara Magomedov by round 2 TKO. No, I think Michel Pereira will gas himself out trying to go strike for strike and then get caught by like a big punch by Shara Magomedov. I don't even want to break that fight down. As for Abus Magomedov, I'm picking Abus Magomedov by unanimous decision. I just don't think Mikhail Jacek is that good. And Abus Magomedov's only losses in recent memory are like to fucking Joe Pfeiffer. This guy beat Bruno Ferreira, Michel Pereira, some random guy. He lost to Caio Borralho, which is fair. He lost to Sean Strickland, which is fair. He knocked out Stolz Fuz. He knocked out some random guy. As for the problem with picking Oleg Jacek is, yeah, he picked up a win over, who was it? I don't really remember. Marc-Andre Barriault, which is decent. He knocked out GM3. Great, yeah, you knocked out GM3, bro. He knocked out Cedric's dumbass. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you knocked out Cedric's dumbass. This guy lost to Shara Magomedov. He lost to Kevin Holland. He lost to Michel Pereira. He beat Chidi and Njokuani, which is decent. He lost to Borralho too. He knocked out Cody Brunjit. He's like just a can. It's like the battle of the cans. But I think Abus Magomedov actually looked semi-decent in round 1 against Joe Pfeiffer. And I think Michel Pereira will probably win rounds 1 and 2 and then lose the round 3 and go to like a 29-28 unanimous decision where he just, like, wherever the fight goes, he's just better than Oleg Jacek. Ever since joining the Fighting Nerds, Oleg Jacek has gained a bit of aura, but yeah, he's going to lose it. Like not in like horrible way, but like he's probably gonna lose it by decision. Uh, let's just skip to our main events breakdown, dude. I don't even want to discuss this shit. I'm just so out of this shit, dude. We have the main event: Rafael Fiziev versus Manuel Torres. Rafael Fiziev, he might be one of the best strikers in the UFC. He might have one of the best pure Muay Thai in the UFC. He doesn't really have a pure Muay Thai style, to be honest. People like to compare his Muay Thai. I understand he has a very high guard and shit, stuff like that. But he does not stand in a traditional Muay Thai stance. You look at his stance, he's so fucking wide. A traditional Muay Thai stance is not that wide, dude. With that being said, other than the fucking stance being so wide, everything else is pretty much Muay Thai, dude. As for Manuel Torres, he's one of the up and coming guys. He is a striker. He knocks people out pretty much. His only loss in the UFC is to Ignacio Bahamondes. He has a couple losses outside of the UFC by submission, but other than that, he's fucking finishing people left and right. He gets a knockout on the Contender Series. He gets a knockout over some random guy in UFC in his UFC debut. He knocks out Nicholas Mora. He submits Chris Duncan. Holy shit, this guy has a submission over Chris Duncan? Fuck, I didn't see that up until now, dude. Dude, he did get knocked out by Ignacio Bahamondes, which is, he knocked out Drew Dober. He knocked out Grant Dawson, but to be honest, the problem with the Grant Dawson win is, as good as that win is over Grant Dawson was supposed to fight upwards and he was just supposed to climb up the rankings from there on. He was on a nice little winning streak. Whenever Grant Dawson gets on a winning streak and he's about to like climb up the rankings, he fights down and he gets scolded by someone. That's just what happened, dude. That he gets knocked out by someone whenever that happens. But Rafael Fiziev just got scolded too by Mauricio Hufi. It was pretty bad, but he did beat Ignacio Bahamondes. So if you wanna like talk about MMA math or something, he should beat Manuel Torres. But I think the blueprint to beat him is there. Even Ignacio Bahamondes was having like he was doing pretty good against Rafael Fiziev. If I'm not wrong, hold on, let me pull this up real quick. He went to like a 29-28 decision. Oh shit, it was 30-27. It was bad, dude. It was actually 30-27. Rafael Fiziev pretty much outstruck him, even got it on takedowns. The difference is I don't think he's going to be able to get in on takedowns against Manuel Torres. Manuel Torres' grappling is actually pretty decent. And Manuel Torres has more power than Ignacio Bahamondes. He's not as polished of a striker as somebody like Bahamondes, but he's actually like pretty good. And I think the blueprint to beating Fiziev has been figured out by Hufi, and he's pretty much gone. The thing is, you can't really Rufi, the way Rufi fought him, it was mainly he was using his hands and the leg kick. He wasn't throwing like spinning wheel kicks and shit against Fiziev. That shit doesn't work ever against Fiziev. He's just gonna lean back. And Bahamondes was doing that, and Bahamondes does have pretty good kicks, so of course he did that. But Manuel Torres, yeah, he has some decent kicks, but he's not a mainly kicker. He uses his hands to knock people out most of the time. And I think this is what he needs to do, dude. This guy against Chris Duncan, he just took down Chris Duncan and submitted him too. So as for the grappling aspect, I don't think he's gonna struggle as much as somebody like Bahamondes against Fiziev in the grappling. And the amount of tape there is to study on Fiziev is fucking astronomical. And I think Manuel Torres will figure him out. I think Manuel Torres, what gym does Manuel Torres train at, dude? He trains at, what the fuck, where does he train? Yeah, I don't know where he trains, bro. Anyways, he seems to be fighting pretty smartly and shit. He does have pretty decent game plans. The only problem with picking Manuel Torres is if it goes to round 3, 4, and 5, it's fucked. He's fucked. There's no other way of putting it. Because Manuel Torres has that frame and he is so powerful, he's gonna gas out in rounds 4 and 5. Maybe even in round 3 he'll gas out. And Fiziev, we've seen him go 5 rounds before. We've seen Fiziev go into deep waters and go into these wars, dude. But I think Manuel Torres is gonna knock out Rafael Fiziev in round 2. It's just, he's not gonna play Fiziev's game because, for one, even he probably knows he shouldn't do that. And for two, that's not his A game either. Somebody like Bahamondes, let's say, his style would play into Fiziev's style. His style, the way he fights, kind of plays into Fiziev's game. Manuel Torres does not do that. He just uses his long ass arms and knocks you out. And that's what you need to do against Fiziev. That's what Hoofy did, and that's what works the best against Fiziev. And I think Manuel Torres, for those two reasons, he's gonna do that. And I think the grappling won't be such a big threat from Rafael Fiziev, considering he didn't even attempt to take down against Hoofy, which, I was like, what the fuck would he not do that? But yeah, I think Manuel Torres should knock out Rafael Fiziev in round two. And those are my predictions, breakdowns, every fucking thing, which I fucked up horribly. Some rant in the beginning of the beginning there as well. Kind of a short video for my standards, still over half an hour long. So yeah, let's just wrap it up, dude. And I'll see you guys in the next one.